Hello and welcome back to Pokémon Legends Z-A, where today we're going to be doing Z-A Royale stuff until the game lets me catch a dog. Also, we've got a whole family of the big boys. I managed to get 2 shiny alphas in the Beldum line, Beldum and a Metang, to show up at the same time, and that doomed me to go for a third. Thankfully, the very next shiny Beldum I found was also alpha. So yeah, a whole bunch of alpha boys. And now I gotta get everyone back where they belong. There we go. I have gotten a few more shinies since last time, including Blue Woman here. She's not big, but she is blue. And I got this Chikorita. And 2 more Noifers. And a few other things that were incidental to an attempt to get a shiny Chespin, but no, Digger's Bees. Yeah, this Gardevoir showed up when I was trying to complete my Alpha Dex, going for a female Bulbasaur, which is a roughly 1 in 1,000 spawn. But my Alpha Dex is now 100% complete. I've got every Alpha that there is to got. And I should get this set on the box for actually catching things into. And now, let's go do a reward match. Who are we against now? Oh, Canary. Makes sense. I gotta win the Infinite Z-A Royale so Dynamo can start hosting our video game tourneys. I'm pretty sure you don't have to win a Royale to host video game tourneys. Like, you can just organize those. Also, as you can see, I have changed 2 members of my team. I have swapped in the Alpha Metagross. And I have also brought in a Dragonite. Both of them are EV trained. Yeah, I'm going to be using 1 other Pokemon. Currently undecided, but possibly my shiny Alpha Froakie, to start doing ranked battles in the near future. And now for that Mega Electros. From Dynamo to Dynamo, me and Electros are charged and raring to go. Lost? Dang. Well, at least she didn't say another variation of the me and Electros lost again? And apparently these reward matches are currently the only repeatable source of bottle caps in this game, which is kind of unfortunate. Anyway, nighttime time. Yeah, Calipor, she also didn't say gamer words this time. Which, honestly, good. That shows growth. Okay, what zones we got? No particularly good ones. We could go here and have mostly rooftop. Or we could go here. This should be okay, despite being like half rooftop. It's still got plenty of ground space. There's someone over there with a Metagross. I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is not having any tickets right here by the entrance. Usually there's at least one. Psychic moves, knockout with ghost moves. Get you a chandelier that can do both. So I might get this knockout opponents with ghost moves thing almost complete. Of course, now there's a card here. Because 20,000 points to be saved and used whenever could be valuable. Considering you are allowed to get and use more than one ticket per, or more than one challenge ticket per day. Which means I could set this 20k points to be used towards our next challenge ticket, but then again, I suppose it depends how close I get to... Nicely done, Chandelier. You've really done it. Depends how quickly we can get to 50k here. Like, if I can use all of that 20k without going over, then it will probably be worth just using the 20k for this one. But if it would cause me to go over, then saving it for the next one is more valuable. But it looks like I can definitely have it all go towards this one. In which case, that's probably for the better. And looks like if we want to keep going that way, we need to climb up scaffolding. What if we go over here? Yeah, don't like the look of this scaffolding. Does this scaffolding even reach the roof? Looks like probably. But also, I would rather not take scaffolding if I don't have to. And there's plenty of ground space over there. There's also a Scizor right here, and a Gourgeist even. missed 2 Shadow Balls on this thing so far, between the terrain and its moves. Yes, sir. Bring your Scizor over here. Well, it wants us to land super effective fighting moves. I don't have any fighting moves right now. Oops. And thus, we shall get electric knockouts. Handful of sneaky starts, we can do that. Let's get a fighting move. Can't do super effective fighting moves on that thing. I can do a super effective fighting move on that. Feels pretty unusual for trainers in Z-A Royale who have a Pokemon capable of Mega Evolution as their final Pokemon to not Mega Evolve it. Not gonna sneak up and start with poison moves though. 8,000 points for sneaking up and starting with psychic moves. That is quite doable. Actually, we can do that with Gardevoir and be at slightly less risk. Mainly because Gardevoir's just got more health right now. Though, it looks like we actually want to save the Psychic Sneaky starts for the next ticket we go after. And looks like it is rooftop time, but there's a ladder here instead of scaffolding, so at least it's not too hard. How many points am I at? I'm at 46,500, which means 2 more battles gets me there no matter what. So yeah, I think we can do one super effective fighting move, though we should not do any sneak starts. Just so that we are more poised to quickly get points on the next one. This thing thought it was going to live long enough to get healing from Leech Seed. Okay, there is another trainer up on this one. Let's break out Gardevoir. Sir, would you and your Starmie like to battle? Good old invisible Gyarados. And now that I have a challenger's ticket, I can go heal up. I don't know for sure if healing up before the reward match is necessary, but certainly feels safer. Now time to do reward match 12. Really? Fighting him after his Oshi?
The prodigious knowledge I've perfected as Quizmaster will have me well suited to win this.
I meant to be using Earthquake, but I forgot. I do not currently have Earthquake. So with the level gap, we don't exactly need it. Really, an Alolan Raichu.
I'm certain my knowledge is impeccable, and yet I am down to a single Pokemon.
And now a standard flavor Raichu, okay.
Will I ever be able to defeat your Pokemon? The very notion seems inconceivable.
Okay, now to go back and complete more tasks for more points and hopefully a second ticket tonight. I spy a trainer upon whom to sneak up and use a super effective fighting move. So maybe I should have snuck up and used a psychic move because she's probably going to send out something else that's weak to fighting. Well, that's not weak to fighting. Neither is that, so maybe I made the right choice after that. Dang, was hoping I could get into the bush before she noticed. Game, please allow me to target the Barbaracle. Thank you. So sneaky, this alpha Metagross. I probably could have waited for Ice Punch to recharge there and gotten a KO towards the get KOs with ice moves. But I saw the thing using Explosion, and so I was like, okay, I gotta defeat this as soon as possible. Land hits with normal moves, and it's hardly even worth anything. I don't have normal moves to land hits. Or wait, yes I do. I have extreme speed. Wait, no. I wish I could change what move I was locked into before it goes off. Realized, hey wait, while I do need the ice moves to get KOs, I still need a sneaky start with Psychic. So this right here is going to be a learning experience, because I had a normal gem on that extreme speed. And it's still there. Nice. Let's go up to the roof. And there's exactly one trainer on this roof. There, that's our last Psychic sneaky start. And there's an Ice KO, which I think is the last Ice KO we need. Nice. I will accept some free prize medals. I need higher value cards. I don't have bug moves to use. plus normal move will get us an extra 2k. I can't poison anybody right now. I can do sneaky starts. Not gonna lie, I kind of love extreme speed. Though I will say, extreme speed has felt slower ever since they split it up into 2 words. Adding that space in there just did not do wonders for its perceived speed. Confuse opposing Pokemon. For 2,400, you know what? Lady, let me target your Klefki. Yes, please come over here so I can target your Klefki. Did the confusion accomplish anything at all? Yes, it got me 2,400 points. I need one more battle. I need one more battle before daybreak. You there with the Pidgeot. Quickly now. We made it. 2 tickets in one night. Ooh, give me that prize. Protein's a good prize. And now for reward match number 13 against Emma. Surprising. She hasn't been part of the Z-A Royale yet. Detective Emma, protector of peace and justice in Lumios, reporting for battle. Extreme speed just in case it wanted to use detect. My Pokemon and I aren't alone. My old mentors have our backs in spirit. See, I don't like that you're using mentors plural, because that means that you're looking up to both Looker and Xerosic, one of whom is an Interpol detective, and the other of whom is the man who pressed the button to activate the Doomsday Machine. Specifically against the wishes of his leader, who was the guy who set up the Doomsday Machine to begin with. Like, Xerosic is the least redeemable Team Flare member. Oh no, looks like I lost. Oh hey, a Master Ball. Got that a little... Well, no, not a little early. I already have one from Mabel's research. Because when it comes to Mabel's research, everything that I have left is going to be done via... Well, is going to be at least progressed via getting to 15 or 20 or whatever number of battles... prize battles in the Z-A Royale. I'm more than halfway done with Pokemon battles. Right, I'm gonna do the thing that I said I was gonna do with my Master Ball. Especially now that I've got a second Master Ball. Hey sir, you see this Master Ball in my hand? Will you pick it up for me? He sure will pick it up for me. Ooh, rain. Rain good. Because rain mean that I can get another Pokemon for my non-alpha decks. Kind of funny that I slacked on my non-alpha decks while I completed my alpha decks. By the way, the very last thing I had to get for my alpha decks was a female Gibble. It was actually 2 female Gibbles. I had very, very bad luck getting alpha female Gibbles. Meanwhile, alpha female Bulbasaur, it did take a while. But not as long as I would have expected it to, given that it's a roughly 1 in 1,000 spawn in the slots that it can spawn in. Meanwhile, I got, I think, 3 alpha female Chikoritas, which are the same rarity. So yeah, we know where all that luck went. Okay, please give me a better battle zone than that one. That one's got too much rooftop. Ooh, we got the good one. Land hits with dragon-type moves, you say? I've got one of those. Lady, I like your Metagross, but could you please turn around? Or else walk this way? One of the two. I'm good either way. Around works. Knock out opponents with steel-type moves, that I can do. Because my Metagross is a big and heavy boy. So admittedly, Heavy Slam probably not the most useful against specifically Aggron. Thankfully, time does not pass while in battle, so we can afford to be slow. Okay, not gonna bother knocking out a Steelix with Heavy Slam. Also, this super effective poison type moves thing. It is just one. I suppose I can swap in a Pokemon for one super effective poison move. Just has to use a poison move, doesn't have to be a good one. Ooh, that was close. Please no, please no. Nice. Except that's not super effective. It has to be super effective. I am a fool. No, I would not like some of Cafe Nouveau's finest. I just accidentally bumped my mic and turned it. There's something we can use a super effective poison move on if we can get a safe switch in. That's about as safe a switch as we can get. Alright, we have landed a super effective poison move. And now it's time to remove this Dragalge from the party. Immediately knock out an opponent for 4k points. Easy enough. Do it again also. Okay. Bunch of rock type moves. Time to swap Brick Break for Rock Slide. She's already been knocked out. Perfect stealth. Okay, so this rock type moves one we will be saving for the next ticket. Sir, please come this way with your Electros. It will not end badly for you. Super effective plus moves. Rock is not super effective against Heracross. Okay, if I do one more super effective plus move that isn't a KO, then I'll finish this right away, but I don't know that I can really accomplish specifically that, so I'll just use a non-super effective plus move, and we might have to do another battle tonight. But I used a move that wasn't not very effective, and thus it didn't matter how sturdy it was. Also, it was a Hippowdon. Those things are pretty heavy. And no wonder the Heavy Slam didn't do a huge amount. Okay, we gotta find someone else. There is someone else. Madam, please bring your Gourgeist closer. Actually, you don't need to. Man, my Metagross is freaking trapped. Turns out, big Metagross can get wedged into places. Okay, one more battle tonight, and we get... Well, one more battle in this location. We get a ticket. Looks like we are likely... Never mind. I was gonna say, it looks like we are likely to get a whole bunch of super effective rock moves, or rock KOs, or whatever it is. But, Steelix kind of puts the kibosh on super effectiveness when it comes to rocks. I was thinking that this would be 3 birds. Alright, so we've got a challenge ticket, and we've got 2,800 points ready to be claimed after we use it. For challenge match, or not challenge, reward match number 14. Against Corbeau. Hey there, Outlander. If I want to make Lumiose a better city, I need to win. If I have to bend some rules for that, I will. Now watch as he plays entirely by the rules during this match. Outlander, my picture just represents who I really am. It shows what's really important. Let's say that. Look at Corbeau here, having a full team of 6. Let's show them how we do things, Scolipede. Even when you beat me, I still end up having fun. Guess it's because I can be myself around you. Alright, what's my reward this time? 3 bottle caps, nice. Good reward. Every time we get bottle caps is good because, again, this is the only repeatable source of bottle caps in the game. And now, to get back to this. Ooh. That is actually a really, really good ticket to pick up. Now we need to find people to battle. Where the heck are the people to battle? There's someone. Doing super effective plus moves where I can. Really, Metagross? You're gonna try and move there before using Rock Slide? How about you use Rock Slide from just wherever you can reach, huh? Should have used another rock. Yeah, 2 more rock move KOs, and we are at another challenger ticket. Thankfully, I don't have to be sneaky about it. I just need to get the KOs. Really quick second ticket. And this will be our 15th reward, reward match. So I think I'll actually wait until the night is done before I leave this area. Just because that way I can get myself a little bit more money. Like, yeah, I'm not getting points towards more reward matches, but I think it's 15 reward matches that is the big one that actually gives you important things. I don't know specifically what you get at 20 other than a title. But I do know that at 15, big things supposedly happen. So I want to get to at least 20 wins tonight, just for the extra multiplier on money. Let's bring back Earthquake. Are you lost, Metagross? Give it another try. Sometimes Metagross tucks in its legs and flies towards things, and it moves a whole lot faster when it does. I really wish I knew what caused it to do that. Because it's not just for Pokemon that are actually flying themselves, but it does make it more often that Metagross will fly towards things. If Metagross would just always fly, it would be nice. It would be a lot easier for it to quickly reach things for sneak attacks. electric sneaky starts. It's kind of a wonder I was even able to get a sneaky start there. I will happily take free prize medals, considering each and every prize medal is 150 Poké-Dollars. Getting 205 for free isn't the worst. There, XMP, what I'm doing is Z-A Royale stuff so that I can get enough reward matches to unlock the next bit of actual non-Z-A Royale content. And I am at... I have my ticket for the 15th battle, which my understanding is that's the one that lets us do things. Not gonna be super effective, but it is an electric move. Just use it, Gardevoir. It's not hard. There you go. It KO'd itself. There's a super effective electric move waiting to happen. And there is no electric move waiting to happen. And that gets us our 2.5 multiplier for the night, which, hooray, money. I wonder, does Metagross being alpha make Heavy Slam stronger? Also, where's a bird trainer when you need one? This guy's haven't got steel types. He's not going to have anything weak to electric. Unless he's got a Skarmory. Okay, at this point, let's just let a new day dawn. Not gonna have an easy time getting an additional multiplier or completing any of the cards I've got, so I'm just gonna give up. And now for reward match number 15. Supposedly the big one. Against Urbane, makes sense. They're already treating this one as being special. Isn't the Infinite Z-A Royale awesome? Sure, but I still wish that it didn't use up my wish for it because they were gonna do it anyway, so why did they have to steal a wish from a child for it? I haven't had a chance for an all-out match with you since we fought to see who's the strongest Mega Evolution user, and I lost and then still acted like I was the strongest anyway. And really, maybe that's what caused the whole problem with the tower. Maybe if a stronger Mega Evolution user went up there, we wouldn't have had all that trouble. Watch me win! Sorry, I will do no such thing. Okay, so he's not mega evolving his Meganium or his Emboar. Ah, he's mega evolving Floette. A fairly light fairy type. I wonder how this is going to work out for you. Time to use the power of our bonds with everyone in Lumiose and Mega Evolve. So surely we're going to end up with that Floette at some point, right? Because, like, it's usable in combat and has an actual Mega Evolution. They're not going to make us live without it in 2 separate games featuring that Floette. You really are the strongest. Where'd you get your shirt, by the way? There are no Pokeball design shirts in this game. We've got shirts with designs on them, but no simple ones. They're all, like, super loud image type things, not just like simple logo designs. I know I've told you already, but I'm glad we met. I couldn't have taken on the whole Z-A Royale or protected Lumiose if you hadn't been there. I don't want this from you, sir. Though, given the XP candies, I think that was just a standard reward from a reward battle. The standard probably pulls from the usual pool. So we probably just were, quote, lucky, end quote, enough to get a love ball specifically. Urbane, can I have a word? Emma? Yeah, sure. Must be pretty important if you came to find me. Sorry, give me a second here, okay? Emma, you're sure? All right. Garnet, come on. We need to make a stop at Quasartico HQ. You mean a stop like 50 feet to your right? Yes, we need to make a stop. Oh, it was more like 50 meters, but still. We need to make a stop at the giant building we are currently immediately next to. Thanks for coming, both of you. Just triple checking. Urbane, your jacket was a keepsake from your mom, right? Yeah? Well, I found the person who gave it to your mom in the first place.
jacket was a gift from me.
Which, really, she should have been able to tell us the first time she saw him in the jacket and he heard that it was a gift from his mom. Or that he got it from his mom, rather. What?
Urbane, I'm quite sure that your mother was my daughter. Your mother worked to develop hologram technology, did she not?
Yes, she did.
Your mother and I, we disagreed over the direction in which this company was moving. She left, saying that she had her own research she wished to pursue.
Yeah, she worked hard at her research, all while caring for me when I was just a kid. It was tough. I think she ended up doing work for Team Flare, or maybe getting support from Lysander.
It is true that your mother's research contributed to the invention of Team Flare's hologram devices. That very same research enabled us to develop our own holotech here at Quasartico Inc. Even though she chose to walk a separate path, still we find these points of intersection. Life truly is curious at times.
So Mom's hard work helped make the wild zones and everything possible. But she burned herself out doing all that. In the end, she had to go to some faraway region to try and rest. Care to name drop the region?
I see, and I suppose that is where she...
Yeah. I knew my mom had ties to Lumios, so I figured I'd find you, or someone who knew her, here.
But of course, our family was not originally from Lumios City. That's why it was a struggle to find any leads. Until I noticed that jacket. I couldn't be sure at first. It has certainly seen some hard days since I'd last seen it. And of course, you've added some flair of your own. That's what prompted President Jet to enlist me to do some sleuthing for her, too. At that moment, it struck me. What if President Jet and Urbane are related to, and searching for, one another? My daughter, your mother, did she ever speak about me?
She regretted never talking to you again after she left. And she said if I ever met you, I should tell you something. Even though you and she walked different paths, there was still so much you had in common. Noticing what you shared made her life feel fuller even after she left, maybe especially after.
If only I'd been less stubborn. If only I'd tried to reach back across that divide sooner.
Please, don't be too hard on yourself. She'd be glad to know her message reached you at least.
I must ask one thing of you, Urbane. I bear a responsibility for Quasartico Inc. choosing to conceal the truth about the tower's threat from the public for so long. And so I plan to step down as president. But the urban redevelopment plan must continue. We must make Lumios City into a place that truly belongs to both people and Pokémon. Having some continuity in the project's leadership could help the transition go a little smoother. Perhaps, if someone who had been helping already were to step into my shoes, someone who is already a leader in their own right. You know, like Vinny here. Vinny, who already works for our company, has been a leader in his own right, has been managing this whole thing in my stead.
Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that Vinny should be the one.
You want me to take your place leading Quasartico?
No, that's a foolish idea. You don't even work for the company, nobody knows you, and it would really just reek of nepotism more than anything else. It should really be Vinny who takes the spot. But I suppose this is a children's game, and that is an easier thing to understand than just putting family in the slot.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that'd be keeping things in the family, but we only just met. You didn't only just meet, you only just learned that you were family.
You know what? Sure. I think Mom wouldn't want me to say no. Hey, you get why I have to do this, right?
Yeah, because this is a kid's game and they can't do the thing that actually makes sense and install Vinny.
Thank you. I mean it. You're the best. Hey, Floette. You were listening, right? I'm gonna be really busy for a while. I probably won't have time to be a good Pokemon trainer. So, you should do like AZ would have wanted. Help Garnet keep Lumiose safe. Thanks, Floette. Here, make good use of this, Garnet. Garnet, I'm so sorry to break up your team this way.
Oh, it's fine. I do not mind one bit.
It's alright. Even if we're apart for a little while, we'll always be Team MZ. I'll come say what I need to later, but could you break the news to Lita and Naveen? I'll whip up an extra special croissant curry to make it up to all of you, I promise. Let's all keep doing what we can to make Lumiose the best place it can be.
Okay, so you're gonna give your role to Vinny, right? Seriously, it should have been Vinny. Imagine doing all that hard work on this project only to be passed up for the grandson of your boss. You're gonna turn Vinny into a villain. He's gonna find a Mega Rayquaza to match his hair. And he's gonna use it to cause all kinds of problems for us. Just you watch. Also, hey, we did get this Floette. And I did leave a space for just such an eventuality here. 72 is a weird level to have it start at. A being that gives and a being that takes. I'm assuming this is L talking. Yep. Both actions are vital to maintaining balance, but in excess, either could destroy it. My memories remain vague, indistinct, yet there is one thing I know. Long ago, I tried to give too much, but my good deeds saw no reward. I wallowed in despair, in resentment, and I decided to take everything for myself instead. Then came Zygarde, a being that seeks to correct excess, to find moderation, to restore balance. I can only imagine that is why it would save me, the one who'd fired the ultimate weapon. And now I must ask something of you. Battle me so that I may see who you truly are as a trainer. Yep, that sure is AZ as its OT. That is cute. Are you prepared to battle me? I once believed that victory was the only meaning to be found from a battle. But I am certain that I will enjoy battling you. Buddy, are you ever going to open your other eye? And if not... Oh, yep, he is. Wonder if Homeboy's still gonna have a Mega Gyarados as the linchpin of his team. you're good. Yep, Gyarados. I don't recall him having a Florges before, though, but maybe that was just me misremembering things. Excellent. I can feel the fire of your convictions burning deep within your heart. So, what's up with your funky eye? Like, why is it funky? This is why we battle, to reach understanding. Trainer to trainer, trainer to Pokemon, and Pokemon to Pokemon. But for reals though, why is your eye funky? Like, is different from your other eye? Is it a fake eye, or is there something special about it? You opened it and, like, it was different and unique looking, but as far as I can tell, there was nothing special about it other than its appearance. I suppose that is why AZ, like you, wished for the Z-A Royale to resume. 5 years ago, a group of children stood against me in defiance. If I'd tried to understand them, perhaps I would never have fired the ultimate weapon. Also, perhaps if Xerosic hadn't pressed the button. Oh, hi, Z-Dog. For reals, though, why'd they have to give it a glowy butthole? Zygarde. How curious. I believe it meant to beckon you to the tower. That much is what I can intuit from my experience working with Zygarde. What it wants with you at that fateful place, I cannot say. So, we're just skipping the whole going back and telling Lita and Naveen thing? Oh, fun fact. In my foolishness, I missed a shiny Alpha Barbaracle yesterday. I was working on my non-alpha decks. And I came over here, and that spawn that has a Garbodor in it right now had an Aggron, and I needed an Aggron, so I was doing save reset catches to get it to stay in the dang ball. And during one attempt to throw the ball at it, I noticed that there was a shiny Alpha Barbaracle here under the tower. But I figured, you know, since it was there in the background when I had just loaded into the save, it was probably already saved, and it was totally safe for me to reset again to actually get the Aggron to stick in the ball. So clearly, you know, this Aggron that appears 30% of the time in that spawn point was more important in the immediate sense than the shiny Alpha Barbaracle. So I closed the game and reopened it to try and get the Aggron to stay. It did stay on the very next attempt, but the Barbaracle was gone, and in its place was a Gengar that was not shiny. So I guess it was like right at the very edge where it could spawn in, but was not already spawned in when the save was made. So yeah, I lost a shiny Alpha Barbaracle. What a fool I was. Yes, I will battle Zygarde. Actually, no, it's giving me a choice right now. I'm going to save first in case I have to throw balls at it. rogue mega style battle. I suppose that makes some sense. You must prove your might to Zygarde. So we've gotten it below 50%. Should it not be going to Zygarde complete now? Are we going to go through all the forms? Each has their own battle? Zygarde is now in its 50% form, and its power has grown greater. Also, I'm saying the wrong version of form, but you're just going to have to let that slide because they're not going to change it at this point. That is not the Pokemon I meant to send out. Can you not? Dragonite use a move so that it wouldn't follow us into the stuff going on. Then again, that was probably ground type move, so it probably would have been totally fine. So now are you going to go Zygarde complete? Yeah, you sure are. Zygarde wants to test you with its true power, its complete form. And the game probably expects me to be Mega Evolving for this, though I can't swap Dragonite out right now, so Mega Evolution isn't exactly a choice I can make. Plus moves on. Though that really didn't do too much more than a non-plus version. And I suppose he's not dropping the Mega Juice, and therefore it's probably fine. Ow! I see, we need to get to the gaps at the edge instead of trying to dodge at the right time. Wow, they don't give us the option to just retry right away. It's train up your Pokemon and try again. Wow. Okay, so, change held item, open satchel. Let's get a Dragonite on you. Or Dragonite. And yeah, 4 of the 6 Pokemon on this team are weak to ground. That's not ideal. How am I doing on candies? I know I spent a lot of them. Yeah, I don't have enough to raise a new thing up to level 100 probably. But if I did, who would it be? I would want someone who is neither weak to ground nor dragon. Ideally someone who can Mega Evolve. Frostlass is weak to neither ground nor dragon, and is an ice type, which can do some real work against Zygarde here. But stats-wise, I don't know if Frostlass can really hang. You know what? Here's what I should do. I should just change moves around so that we've got at least a better shot here. Looks like Metagross doesn't really need to change moves, because it doesn't really have access to much better. Ampharos is probably going to be Sir not appearing in this battle, because Lamau electric type against Zygarde. You know, its physical attack stat isn't that bad, so having Ice Punch in there isn't the worst plan. And hey, we can get some screens, maybe. It's better than nothing. Gardevoir, that Thunderbolt's not going to do a single thing. Ice Punch, not worth it. Icy Wind, however, is effectively a 220 base power move. That's a little bit hard to beat. And Hypnosis is also completely worthless in these sorts of battles, so I should probably replace that as well with D-Gleam. And Dragonite's Thunder Punch needs to swap out for Ice Punch. And everything else is probably okay. Maybe an Outrage over Earthquake. Chandelure also not the greatest of choices for this battle. And doesn't really even get anything worth using that it doesn't already know. Imagine if heal blocking Zygarde before the end of one of its phases would just end the battle and you win. That would be hilarious, but there is zero chance that they would ever have it work like that. And Pyroar also not gonna be a whole lot of use for this battle, but we at least need to replace that Thunderfang with something else. Meant to put that on Thunderfang. Calfor, I don't believe you can use Will-O-Wisp to status the Zygarde here, because I don't think... Like, Rogue Mega Evo battles, I don't think they're vulnerable to status to begin with. Like, I've tried using status moves on him a couple times, and it never did anything. I'm pretty sure I tried Hypnosis once, and it did absolutely nothing. Okay, let's give this another shot. Let's go Gardevoir first. I Actually, hang on. I heard an alpha behind me. Or near me somewhere. In front? Left. Okay. Just had to make sure it wasn't shiny. Because while I don't need alphas for my alpha decks, I do want shiny alphas. The fact that Moonblast is doing more than Icy Wind, despite Icy Wind having effectively a higher base power, feels wrong. Because Icy Wind gets double super effective, or it should. Which should make it base, you know, it's base 55, and then it goes to... Oh, wait, no, never mind. Because Moonblast is super effective and gets stabbed. So yeah, no, Moonblast being better is normal and fine. Never mind. If it weren't for stab, it would be different. I should have given her Draining Kiss. Yeah, Draining Kiss over Dazzling Gleam. We would have been able to have Gardevoir handle this entire battle. Dang it. Why'd you have to follow me, Gardevoir? Well, we are allowed to Mega Evolve here. If the game truly expected us to Mega Evolve, they probably would have been giving us drops of Mega Juice. Well, let's just see how this goes. It's not gonna make this that much faster. And time for Core Enforcer. And I cannot swap Zygarde out, or not Zygarde, I can't swap Dragonite out right now, which we can at least get to safety. And yeah, our Mega Evo basically just let us get back to the point we were at before a little quicker. And now we're going to go without Mega Evolving for the rest of this battle. Ow! 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 Okay, we've learned about a new move. And that should be the last new move we learn about, unless this guy's gonna go full-on Rogue Mega Evo on us and Mega Evolve on his own. Zygarde has deemed you worthy. Let your Pokeball fly. Yes, I will let my Pokeball fly. Okay, but why's it gotta be in dog form? I caught it in not dog form. The last form it was in before complete was 50%. It should have been caught in 50% form. So this legendary Pokemon has joined forces with the mightiest trainer in Lumiose. The thought of you two combining your power gives me hope for the future of this city. You should have this. It will allow Zygarde to change its form. Why is the Zygarde cube not a cube? You can't even mistake this thing for a cube. Like, sure, it's got some squares on it, but it's mostly hexagons. Cubes are kind of notorious for not having any hexagons. Zygarde has 3 different forms: 10% form, 50% form, and complete form, all of which they clearly understand shouldn't have an E on them. Because look, when they say it has 3 different forms, they don't say it has 3 different formies. They clearly understand that that's the wrong form. And yet they still use it. They have changed words in Pokemon that have been the wrong word before. Look at Feint Attack. Why don't they change this one? Instead, they use 2 different forms of the word form. Except it's not 2 forms of the word, it's 2 separate words. But they use 2 completely different words to mean the same thing here, instead of fixing their mistake that's over a decade old at this point. F-O-R-M-E should not apply to the shape of a creature. It applies to letter types, which these are not. Though I guess Zygarde does have a bigger claim to it than any other Pokemon, because Zygarde is a letter. Zygarde is a Z. It is the closest of any Pokemon to being able to appropriately use this form. And anyway, yeah. Can Mega Evolve only when in its complete form. And Mega Evolved Zygarde turns Core Enforcer to Nihilite. When Zygarde used up its strength protecting Pokemon from the light of the ultimate weapon, its parts scattered to far-off places, absorbing the power of those lands and seeking humans who would give it aid. And now that I think of it, the moves that Zygarde used when it Mega Evolved, they reminded me of Z moves, like those used in the Alola region. Gotta tie in the whole Zygarde getting most of its story from the Alola games, huh? But perhaps I am reading too much into it. Now it falls to me to ponder. What should I do with the 3,000 years I must live? I don't feel like asking specifically Lysander if there's something he wants to do is the best idea. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be 3,000 years, sir. That's only fair. It is not an answer I will find in anyone but my own self. But I know one thing. To this day, I yearn to create a more beautiful world, and I will yearn for it forever. Okay, hang on. Slow down. I need you to define beautiful, because A, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and B, beautiful for whom?
Because the last time you tried that, you kind of used a doomsday weapon to try and kill everyone who wasn't wearing your uniform. So, please, define your terms, sir. I once thought that we could achieve that world by fulfilling the material needs of everyone. Now I know it is not so simple. An old proverb says it is good to feed the hungry, but better to teach them how to feed themselves. You know, give a man a fish versus teach a man to fish. You could use the proverb itself. I had focused solely on what I believed the world needed, yet I lost sight of how to make it so that people can truly flourish. Thanks to what you and your Pokémon have done together, I have learned my lesson well. It is an outlandish dream, far beyond my reach, but with 3,000 years' time, perhaps I can make it real. Much like AZ wandered far and wide across the world in search of Floette, I shall travel across vast reaches in search of ways to create the world I yearn for. When people manage to meet, it is a gift. Even living in the same time and place is no guarantee. The fact that we, and so many others, met and banded together to make Lumiose a better place is something we should treasure. Barring some great change, I doubt we will meet again, but I will carry these lessons with me. Au revoir, my young friend. All right, well, we have now completed the Pokédex. I was in the wrong box, so my Z-Dog got put in the wrong place. He belongs there. And if I want to actually complete this game's form dex, I will need to do 2 more runs to get 2 additional Spices to turn into a Slowbro and a Slowking. And I will also need to do 1 more complete run to get a second Zygarde so that I can have one be in 50% form in the box. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing to do eventually. Certainly not a thing to do today. Mabel's research. Would you look at that? I have exactly 1 thing left to do. Because of course they couldn't give us 1 more thing worth 100 points. That would be too simple. And the reason I have warped to where I have warped is because wasn't one of the buildings like this way from over there where Pokemon X and Y had the Ghost Girl Hex Maniac show up? I feel like there's no way they wouldn't have a reference to that in this game. For a moment, I thought that was going to unlock a new hairstyle, but no, it unlocked 3 feathers. Oh, hey, this guy's Metagross. His Metangs have turned into a Metagross. He had 4 Beldums, then 2 Metangs, and now 1 Metagross. Hey, look at this. Those Beldum I caught have finally evolved all the way into a Metagross. Can't believe how big it got, and it still can't get enough of my Holovator repair work. Now, do you really want to not believe how big a Metagross got? No, Metagross, stay there! It was perfect. I was gonna go into camera mode and snap a photo of his face poking out of my Metagross. Oh well. Surely we've gone past where the Ghost Girl building was. I'm sure it was like right here. Alright, well, we've been at this for barely over an hour and a half. Let's look for shinies! Because I got nothing else really worth doing today. It's clearly the 15th reward battle that does anything important. So, yeah. What shinies do I want to look for? I guess I should pick somewhere to go and then just start going. Starting here because I am interested in getting a shiny Slowpoke in this game. I'm interested in getting, you know, shinies of anything that can Mega Evolve, but Slowpoke specifically because apparently shiny Slowpoke has changed in this game to be more of a purple and less of just pale pink. Of course, they also made Slowpoke itself a more saturated pink in this game, so it makes sense that they would also change the shiny. XMP Shiny Emolga is interesting, but I've actually already got one in my Pokemon home that I believe I got from Ultra Space. And if I'm going to be looking for shiny Pokemon in this game, I'm going to be really trying to focus on ones that can Mega Evolve because I have it as a goal of mine to eventually have all of the shiny Megas. I've actually got a decent amount of them already. In fact, let's look at my boxes, at what I've got shiny, and then separate all the things that can Mega Evolve into different box. I've got 2 Drillburs. Let's go with the higher level one. And then this can Mega Evolve, but I'd rather get one that's not guaranteed. This can Mega Evolve. 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 All of these can Mega Evolve eventually. So yeah, I've already got 16 Mega Evolution capable shinies. Some of them still need to be regular evolved first, but that doesn't mean that they can't Mega Evolve ever. $16 out of, I believe there are 69 Mega Evos in this game. Let's see, we have got 7 per row. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full rows. So that is 56. 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. I thought I'd heard 69 somewhere. Yeah, there are 62, it says at the top. And 2 of them can't be shiny, so 60 Mega Evos. Maybe there's 69 Pokemon total in the franchise that can Mega Evolve. Yeah. Yeah, gonna try and get all of them shiny because they are there
And having a full shiny Mega Dex would be neat. So, we need to go to places where things that can become Mega can be found. I know it's the other bank that has the Slowpokes. We can see them from here, and neither one of those is shiny, which makes sense. I don't have the shiny charm. Finding a shiny Pokemon at all isn't exactly common without it. Even with it, it's not exactly common. I would love to find another shiny Alpha Barbaracle, considering I freaking missed one yesterday. But I will settle for non-alpha, even though I already have a shiny non-alpha Barbaracle that I caught in the Friend Safari back in Pokemon X and Y when it was still the most recent game. I named it Glam Hands. I've heard good things about shiny Mega Drampa. I would love to get one of those. But that is a hunt that I am not going to actively pursue until I've got the shiny charm, because that one is one that if you want to do it effectively, you have to do the old-fashioned way. Cafe... One of these cafes... Or no, it's Restaurant Lena, I think. Is where you go if you want to get easy checks for a Dratini. Yep, because that spawns in from as soon as you can load in Restaurant Lena. So, yeah, this will be a quick one if you want to do the warp refreshes like that, because every single fast travel spawns in a different Dratini, and if it becomes shiny, it will stay shiny. But that one ain't shiny, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on any given place. Getting a shiny Garchomp is gonna suck. Mainly just because Gibbles themselves are fairly rare in here. I say, before immediately finding one. But no, there was a reason that Alpha Female Gibble was the last thing I needed for my Alpha Dex. And it's that they are not common. Why am I going here? Nothing I can find here during the day is anything that I need. Actually, yeah. Yes. Nothing I can find here during the day is something I need. I already have a shiny Weedle. I already have a shiny Venipede. I don't have a shiny Larvitar, but you can't find it from this entrance. But then again, while I want to focus on shiny Mega Evos, I also really like shiny Pumpkaboo. It's just a really nice shiny, and I hope to find one someday. In fact, I hope to find 8 someday. One of each size, but that is asking a little much. I mean, going here for a shiny Litleo is probably the most effective way to get a shiny Pyroar. Considering you can use the stairs trick to repeatedly respawn 4 Litleos in total safety. Well, I guess it's not always 4 Litleos, it's just usually 4 Litleos, sometimes it's a Pancham. It's a shame that doesn't also respawn the... Well, it does respawn the Pikachus, you just can't repeatedly go up and down the stairs and have that alone respawn the Pikachus. Because I am going to need at least one shiny Pikachu at some point. to turn into a shiny Raichu, because that's going to have Mega Evos. I do like shiny Pinsir. I would love to get one of those. Isn't shiny Pinsir one of the ones that goes blue? And I also need shiny Heracross. So every time I run through this zone, that's 4 checks for potential shiny Megas. This zone, I need a shiny Bagon in this game. Or the Alpha Salamence, I would take that too. Looks like we don't got him this time, that's for sure. And the Alpha Lopunny would also be a great way to fill my shiny Lopunny requirement. And then coming up here, during the day, which I guess would be specifically half of all checks. There's a bench up here that is going to be indispensable for getting my hands on some shinies that I want. Because that Fennekin is within 50 meters of this bench. So if I want to get a shiny Fennekin, this bench is the way to do it. It's also close enough that it resets the Bagons and the Salamence, as well as, during the day, these Swablues and Altaria. So that is 1, 2, 3 Mega Evo capable Pokemon that I can get multiple checks for in one bench. I would also love to get my hands on a shiny Aron, or anything that's lying really. And I also need a shiny Onyx from in here, so this is going to be one of the places that I have to run around the most. Because unfortunately, running around is basically the only way to get all the checks. I don't know that there's any good way to get checks for everything here stocked up easily. Like, if there was a bench immediately outside of here, it would have been fine. But there's no bench immediately outside of here. I don't even know where the closest bench is. That might be a good thing to find out. I believe I hear an Alpha Mawile. I definitely hear an Alpha Mawile. There it is right there. This is the wild zone we want to go to if we want to get our hands on a shiny Mawile. There are 2 wild zones that have Mawiles in them. This one's got more. It's also got a chance for a shiny Manectric, which we're going to need. Or no, I've already got an Electric. Manectric is not super necessary. Yeah, these 3 Mawiles up here are our best bet at getting a shiny Mawile. And there's also 3 Kadabras in this wild zone. There's another wild zone with 3 Abras in relatively similar proximity to one another. So I don't know that this is necessarily the best place to look for a shiny in that line, considering, yeah, there's 3 Kadabras, but you can't see them all from the same spot. Those 2 aren't shiny, and that one's not shiny. I guess you can see them from the same spot, but you can't reset them from the same spot. If you want to see a bunch of shiny Abras in the same spot, or from the same spot, rather, then Wild Zone 5 is where to go. Hang on. I need to... Every time I warp here, I need to check the Froakie. I already have a shiny Froakie, but dang it, I am not going to say no to a second if they want to give it to me. Got a big Venipede there. My primary goal is to get a shiny of everything that can Mega Evolve, but shiny alphas are, of course, more special. Yeah, from here we can see one Abra, two Abras, and then there's a third Abra, like, behind that building. And if you get to the right spot, you can see all of them without them getting away, but then again, when you're up there, it's not exactly easy to despawn them, now is it? No, there's no bench up here. Though I think one or two of them do get they're definitely too far away from the Area 5 transition. Not a transition. The Area 5 warp point. They are definitely too far away from it. So I don't really know what the best method for shiny hunting a Kadabra would be. Or an Alakazam, I suppose. Hello? Well, we found a shiny. Not one I was expecting. Nor necessarily one that I needed, but I did say earlier I would rather have one that wasn't a guaranteed shiny. So I will take that. And I'm going to need a shiny Phalanx. Getting one of those is best done by warping here. Because this checks 2 Phalanx usually. Where are they? Yeah, it typically gets those 2 Phalanx to spawn in just immediately upon warping, and then if you step forward right to the entrance here and don't even go in, it also spawns the Froakie if it hasn't just been scared away and is still on its despawn timer thing. Let's go back here. During the day, we get the Slowpokes, and the Carvana, and the Sharpedo, and a Bellsprout. And at night, at least one of these sometimes turns into a Staryu. So that's a good few checks. Oh, I guess it's also a Staryu during the day. Though, when it comes to trying to find a shiny Staryu, this is not the best place. It is the best place to find a shiny Dynamo, unfortunately. And if we want a shiny Staryu, then we don't put a pin there. You can actually look for a shiny Staryu and a shiny Dratini at the same time. Though not as effectively as if you're just looking for the Staryus. I suppose this also serves as a check for shiny Scraggies. Yeah, down there we get 4 Staryu spawns. 3 or 4. I guess we've only got 3 right now. And notably, at least 2 of them will respawn every single time we travel to Cafe Soleil. And therefore, repeatedly fast traveling to Cafe Soleil is gonna be the fastest way to get a bunch of Staryu checks. And just to confirm that that Dratini is within range and also thus gets several checks. 53 at the very edge of that building. Which means that, yeah, the Dratini is going to be within 50. Like, 9 times out of 10, if not more. Because if we put that pin there, which is like the farthest over I've seen the Dratini spawn, yeah, that's within 50. So every time we warp here to Cafe Soleil, we get 2 to 3 Staryu checks as well as 1 Dratini check stocked up. And because of how this game handles shinies once they've spawned in and get saved, they stick around until you actually do something to them. Hey there, Curbster. I guess we do not get the Scraggy check. No shiny Staryus. Makes sense. Whoops. And I'm going to need to visit Wild Zone 2 a whole lot more often than I have been. Day and night. During the day, we could get an Alpha Magikarp. That would be nice to have shiny. And during the night, there's plenty of Magikarps and Staryus here, so... yeah, I should probably keep on coming here until I get my shiny Gyarados, at least. And if I get a shiny Staryu in the process, that's just a bonus. At nighttime, coming here can get us a Clefairy, but I already have a shiny Clefairy. I'm still going to have to come here a lot to get a shiny Audino. These Audinos are not exactly... well, there's another shiny today. One I already had, but I'm not in the business of saying no to shinies. I think we are in the clear with only that Kangaskhan in combat with us. Yep, we sure were. Cool. Second shiny of the day. Let's see if we can find more. I am going to have to do a lot of looking here for shiny starters. Those are not common at all. Considering each shiny that can spawn in a slot that spawns starters. Like, the starters themselves are roughly 30% of the total spawns in any given slot that spawns starters. And there are, what, like 5 slots that can spawn them? Maybe 6? And then there's the fact that more than half of the things that can spawn in these 2 slots have megas, and therefore are things I will want to chase shinies for. Ooh, a female Vaporeon. Long ball. Don't catch. Good. Right. I've got my move set up for Z-Dog right now. Everything is wrong. Got the Garbodor out of the way. I don't have any electric moves for this Vaporeon, but doesn't mean I can't hit it with things. So apparently I can't hit it hard enough to get through freaking Aqua Ring. Let's see how a Mega Metagross does. Get it blocked. That's better. I know female Vaporeon isn't any different from male Vaporeon, but it's rarer. Rarity has some value. Not like value as in I'm gonna sell this or anything. That would be really weird. I just like collecting things sometimes. And when I am collecting alpha versions of things, might as well also go for the rarer versions of alpha versions of things. Alright, we are now 3 throws in on a 20% plus catch rate thing. Actually, we can narrow things down. Okay, so going from a 1.0 multiplier to a 1.5 multiplier takes that Vaporeon from over 20% to over 50% catch rate. So it's actually sitting at least like 32.5%-ish. Yeah, Curbster, I fully understand wanting to return to the Ribbon Road. Until specifically this stream, I had not been done with this game yet, but now that I am... Yeah, shiny hunting is something I'm going to do on my own time, and thus this is probably the last stream of this until the DLC comes out, quote, by the end of February next year. So, yeah, at some point we're gonna get that DLC and I will have to stream this game again. That point is not right now. Hey, look, a pair of alpha stars. Shame neither of them sparkles. Let's go to Zone 6. I think the Swablues are still here at night. And we can still check the Baniris, the Binacles. We can't check the Medichan, or the Meditites. We can check the Pikachu. I do need a shiny Pikachu. Nope. It doesn't sound like we've got a shiny. And one of the Swablues has decided it would rather jump off a roof than be looked at. But it still got looked at. And now we can just drop on down and be on the proper side of Zone 11. Which I still say needs a bridge. And we got no shiny Slowpokes, no shiny Gyarados. No shiny nothing of value. Or anything at all. Value or no, there were no shinies. Honestly, when looking for shiny potential megas at night, I think our time would be better spent in a certain other zone that I need to go look at before daybreak. Specifically Zone 13, because Scythers are nighttime only and Zone 13 only, and there's only 2 spawns. There's a big one, but I don't need a big one. I need a shiny one. I will settle for a shiny big one. But yeah, that's probably the zone I should be spending most of my time in at night. With this one being a nice second, because Haunter and Shuppet and Banette. I need shinies of all of those. And it's also the best chance of getting a shiny jumbo Pumpkaboo that we have ever had. Oh, right, we can also get Autonos in here. They're not exclusive to Zone 19. Incidentally, I've heard, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I've heard that when it is foggy at night, there's a higher alpha rate for things. And hey, look, it is a foggy night right now. Of course, it's not going to be a foggy night for much longer. Yeah, we're not even going to get to the top of this ladder before daybreak. I hear something, Alpha. Some non-shiny Kadabras. Ah, there's an Alpha Kadabra there. I don't need an Alpha Kadabra unless it sparkles, though. Makes sense. Oh, we got a bonus line. I'm not happy about this fact. But it's fine. No shiny Mawile. No surprise. I haven't looked for everything that I'm going to need shiny yet today. I haven't taken any looks at candles. I mean, yeah, sure, you can get Lampants from above the lions, but that requires hanging out too close to the lions. I forget. Do you get candles in here? I don't think you do. I think, yeah, this is Inkes and Gumi. I do not need any of those shiny. Not for megas in this game, and not for my shiny collection in Pokemon Home. Because I have got all the shiny Gumis I will ever need, thanks to shiny outbreaks in Scarlet and Violet. And I've got all of the shiny Inkes I will ever need, because I got a random shiny Inkay in Scarlet and Violet, as well as a random shiny Malamar in this game. And yeah, there's only 2 candles here, but 2 candles is better than no candles. I mean, I guess there's more candles in the sewers in general, but the best luck you're gonna get is looking for specifically those 2 candles. Yeah, Curbster, and Alpha Pangoro is a pretty good first Alpha Shiny. My first Alpha Shiny, technically in Legends Arceus, was a Golem. And it was, you know, the fixed Alpha Golem, which, not the most exciting. My first Alpha Shiny in this game, I mean, we saw it on screen, it was this Patrat. But my second Alpha Shiny in this game was... none of these are Alpha, are they? Well, yeah, the Houndoom is. I think the Houndoom might have been it. Either the Houndoom or the Froakie. belong in this box. Yeah, my second alpha shiny was either the Houndoom or the Froakie. Or was it this Noivern? Could have been any number of them. I no longer have these in the order in which I caught them, so... yeah, could be anything. I am going to need shiny Snover and a minimum of 2 shiny Snorunts. So this is going to be a pretty good wild zone to refresh repeatedly. And specifically this bench right here gets me like all of the spawns that I could possibly want. So yeah, this is going to be a bench that I rest at a lot going forward. Because yeah, it gets us a bunch of Snovers, it gets us a bunch of Snorunts, it even gets us the Alpha Obama Snow. And like, yeah, you can just repeatedly rest at this bench. Things being in combat with you, for whatever reason, does not stop bench resting. So this can be easily automated. Or at least made simple. Even without a turbo controller, a rubber band and mashing the A button can get you that bench reset done time and time and time again. Well, Curbster, grats on your shiny Eevee from your bench rests near the Fennekin. And yeah, I do plan to use that bench a lot because A, it's the only place to get a Fennekin, and I'm going to need one of those eventually because it is eventually going to have a Mega. B, that bench also gets you Bagans, which I'm going to need one of those. C, it also gets you Swablues. Gonna need one of those. And yeah, it's just a really good bench because it gets you a bunch of things that you eventually need to get shiny if you want a full shiny Mega Dex. While also being the only place to get one of those things. 2 of them actually, because you're not gonna find the Bagans or Salamence anywhere else in this game. That's a big Gibble. But I don't need a big Gibble, I need a sparkly Gibble. Curbster, I have not gotten the Greninja Megastone yet. There's about a week left to claim it. And I have gotten 2 of the Pokemon I intend to use to get it ready to go. So yeah, that's going to be happening sooner rather than later. But it's not going to be happening right this moment, that's for sure. But it will be happening. And they have announced that they will be rerunning these Megastones, so missing it now doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It just means that I will have missed the first run. But I don't even plan to miss the first run, so it's fine. I just plan to get it relatively late in the first run. Double Alpha Weeping Bells. Let's look at 14 again. Love me some steel types. Want to see some shinies. I hear some alphas. At least I thought I heard some alphas. I really like Carvana. It's one of my favorites, actually. Just Carvana. Sharpedo, I'm not as big a fan of. But I love Carvana. It's shiny. I would like so much better if it wasn't like a lime green. I was tempted to try and grab that Alpha Dynamo. You know what? I am tempted to grab it. I'm going to let temptation win. Because I have wanted for a while to get this Ampharos off my team. And if I get a second Alpha Electros, then I will be able to get Ampharos off my team without needing to harm my currently complete Alpha Dex in the box. That's a big Bergmite, but it's not a shiny Bergmite. And I don't need shiny Bergmite specifically, I just kind of want one. I mean, if we're honest, I kind of want a shiny of every species in this game. There are just some that I am more willing to put in the effort to search for. I am probably going to get several more shiny Bunnelbees while looking for a shiny Chespin. I'm probably going to get more than enough shiny Pyroars while looking for a shiny Skarmory. And I'm certainly not going to find a shiny Alpha Pikachu up here right now. Told you. And while I will not need shiny Swablues once they open up Pokemon Home integration, I would like to have my shiny Alpha Dex done before they open up said integration. Having them all locally sourced just feels better. You know? You feel me? There's a big poke. But I don't need big. I need sparkly. And I'm doing all this shiny hunting without a shiny charm, which is not ideal. I could be working to get a shiny charm right now, but that's something I'll do on my own time. Though it is my next goal of what to do. Considering it is now possible for me to get the shiny charm. And yeah, I'm gonna have to do it. Though I planned to use my process to get the Greninjite as part of my getting the shiny charm, because hey, those are battles that I have to do. Might as well have them count. I don't know if they actually do count towards the 1,000 trainer battles if you're doing Link battles. But I suppose I will find out. I'm also going to need a shiny camera up, so this is yet another thing that this particular wild zone is going to be good for. I just hate that this wild zone is one that I'm going to have to spend so much time in unless luck really smiles on me and gives me a shiny Gibble soon.
do 5 quick warps to Restaurant Lana, see if we can spawn a shiny Dratini. And if you didn't have to poke your control stick ever so slightly to do this warp, then you'd be able to do it by just pressing start, hitting A a couple times, and then repeating. That would be so easy. But no, you have to poke your control stick. That's slightly more effort, and I think this is actually a 6th load we're doing right now, but whatever. And we climb up here, and we take a look. That ain't a shiny. But it's no surprise that it ain't a shiny, because shinies generally, not always, but generally, take more than 6 attempts to find. Could get a shiny Ghastly here. Doesn't matter whether it's day or night, there's always Ghastlies. But also, if I come here too often, then I can end up with a 3rd shiny Spinarak in this game when I've already got a shiny Spinarak and Ariados and Scarlet and Violet. Which is why I don't think I'm going to visit this place too much. Because, yeah, I don't need any of these shinies for my shiny collection other than Honedge, and there's a better place to get shiny Honedge without risking getting shinies that I do not need at all. Because A, you get more shiny Honedge spawns, or shiny Honedge line spawns at once in here, and you can get them with a turbo controller. Just repeatedly take that warp and you're golden. So, like, yeah, those are going to be easy to get without risking more Spinaraks. And B... yeah, I don't need any of the other shinies from Zone 4 for my collection overall, because I've got all the Spinaraks, Ekanses, Ghastlies, and Spupas I could possibly need in Scarlet and Violet. I do need a shiny Patrat again, because I've only... or do I? I think I got a shiny Watchog from Friend Safari once. So maybe I don't need shiny Patrat. I'm gonna have to relook at my shiny collection at some point. Big Mole, but not shiny Big Mole, and therefore no value. Because I've already got Big Moles. I would love to have a shiny Big Mole, to have a shiny Mega Excadrill that is big. But I can't exactly force those spawns now, can I? I will say the nice thing, I do want to have a shiny Mega Dragonite, or a shiny Alpha Dragonite rather. The nice thing about that is every single Dratini spawn, every last one, and Dragonair as well, has a 20% alpha rate. So 1 in 5 shiny Dratini or Dragonair you find in this game is going to be alpha. And then if you consider that the only spot that spawns Dragonites, like full-on Dragonites, not just Dratinis or Dragonairs, is fixed alphas, then yeah, there is a greater than 25% chance that if you find a shiny in the Dratini line, it will be alpha. So on average, it won't take too many attempts. Or too many phases to get a shiny alpha Dratini line Pokemon.
It's kind of neat that almost everything that can spawn alpha under that tower gets Mega Evos. Yes, there are things that don't, like all the evolutions and all the elemental monkeys. But most of what can spawn under there, I'm pretty sure, can get Mega Evos, and therefore, if you are looking for a shiny alpha to Mega Evolve, under that tower is a pretty decent place to find one. Like a shiny Mega, or a shiny Alpha Barbarical. It's a good place to find one of those and then lose it out of foolishness. I'm gonna be bitter about that forever. Did we just get 3 Gyarados spawns in a row under there? When these are pulling from a pool of like 61 or 62 Pokemon? Okay, we didn't get 4 Gyaradoses in a row. That would have been too much. Okay, let's move elsewhere again. And yeah, Curbster, I know how it feels to get a coveted shiny before the shiny charm. I've got a few myself. Like my full alpha Batang my full alpha Metang line family. I know where Batang came from. It's supposed to be Beldum line. I was trying to say Beldum and Metang at the same time. It came out Batang. Why would I say the two that aren't even Metagross? Am I a fake fan? I would love to get a third shiny on stream today. That would be lovely. And I suppose it would only make sense to love something that is lovely, but if I want to be less repetitive, maybe I should choose different words, huh? Yeah, let's look at 16 again. Though admittedly 16 has greater value for me at night, because during the day, it's pretty much just Phalanx. Well, also Metachams. I will need a shiny Metacham. Actually, I think doing all of my shiny hunting at night is probably for the better. I don't know that there are any shinies I need that are more common during the day. And there are several that are... well, no. Swablues. Like, yes, some Swablues still exist at night. But in specifically the place that I'm going to have to hunt for certain other shinies, they do not exist at night and are instead replaced with Noibats, which I do not need. And then the Metatites and Metachams. And they need at least one shiny from that line too. And those are daytime only. But most of the things I need, if they are exclusive to a time, they are exclusive to the night.
Like, let's look at this Pokedex again. What do I still need? I effectively have this. I just need to evolve it. I effectively have this. I just need to evolve it. This too, and this. So, like, these two are not time exclusive. This is not time exclusive. Neither of these is strictly exclusive to a time period. There's lions everywhere all the time. I've got this, just need to evolve it. Not time exclusive, not time exclusive. Though easier to find at night in a certain place. Not time exclusive, and already have it, just need to evolve it. Already have it, just need to evolve it. Morning, or day, rather. Have it, need to evolve it. Already have it. Need to find another shiny male in the Ralts line to get this. But not time exclusive. Already have it. Easier to find during the day. Not time exclusive, not time exclusive. Nighttime specific. Not time exclusive, 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 not time exclusive. Not time exclusive, not time exclusive. Yeah, is there anything else here that does require time? Yeah, this is night exclusive. And I think that's it. Yeah. So the ones that either exist only or mostly during the day that I still need. Mega Altaria is easier to get during the day if you want it shiny. And then there was one other, right? Right, yeah, the Medicham. So yeah, 2 versus more common at night. More common at night. Only at night. And only at night. So 1 day exclusive, 1 more common during the day, 2 night exclusive, and 2 more common at night. Yeah, night's the better time to go shiny hunting for things that you want to mega. Where do I want to go now? Let's go back to 9, see if we can find a Mawile or a Kadabra or a Sableye. Or a Manectric, because that's here too. Sure, I've already got a shiny Electrike, but if I could get a shiny Alpha Manectric, I wouldn't complain. So, it's come to my attention. Why is there an item there? I thought I got all the items from here before. It's come to my attention that people have been using these, little... There's more than one item on these stuffings. I guess I slacked. That or there have been item respawns. Yeah, it's come to my attention that people have used these balconies being completely 2D as a gripe with this game's graphics, and like, yeah, it's not a good look, that's for sure. Is it a huge problem? Also no. But even more so, it's baffling. I'm not gonna say that, you know, it's necessarily a bad thing that they're all flat, because it's probably something that they did for performance optimization. And like, if this game didn't run at a fixed frame rate, you can bet people would be a lot more upset than they are about how the buildings are all effectively just flat objects. But like, there's another part of this game, this very same game, where if we warp to it, I could have sworn that they were modeled out. There's somewhere in this game where they do model out those little balcony things. I've seen it. I know I have. Oh yeah, it's on Hotel Z itself. So like, yeah, they have modeled them out somewhere. But then there's other parts of the game where they're just flat textures and it's weird. Why would they model them specifically here? I mean, I know the answer in this case is to make Hotel Z seem even more special. But like, yeah, it's almost certainly something that they did not because they were too lazy to do it, but rather to help with performance. And like, after people tore into Scarlet and Violet constantly over performance, like, yeah, can you blame them for wanting to optimize around performance? I sure can't. Big fish. But not shiny fish. And since those Swablues will have respawned, let's look at them again before going to look at nighttime specific things. And no shinies up. Actually, before we go to nighttime specific things, let's also look at this side of Zone 11, because it's right here. And I'm not seeing anything that I need. Don't even have to go all the way across. So, to Zone 15, where we have the potential to find a shiny Haunter or a shiny Shuppet or Banette, but we found instead no shinies whatsoever, which is the expected result. Yeah, Cursor, I can definitely see wishing that the Switch 2 had more improvements over Switch 1. But it's pushing 8 times the pixels per second already, and doing so with better shadow resolution and better texture resolution in a lot of places. Like, it's decently significant. So like, while yes, it's easy to want them to have done more, it's not exactly reasonable to necessarily expect them to do that much more while still maintaining the performance that they've hit. Because, like, this game almost never drops a frame. I have seen it happen a couple times, like when, say, an entire Pride of Lions uses Earth Power on me at the same time. But the game almost never drops a frame from 4K 60. So, like, I would much rather have the good performance than modeled balconies on all of the buildings. Especially after playing Scarlet and Violet on a Switch 1. Yeah. Sparkles, so I'm not gonna bother going further upstairs than that.
Yeah, Curbster, 100%. They prioritize performance over visuals. Like, specifically based on all the feedback for Scarlet and Violet. 100%. It had to be on their mind. A jumbo pumpkaboo or two in there, but they weren't shiny, so I don't need them. Though the different pumpkaboo sizes have different sizes within themselves, and that kind of bothers me a little, actually. Because, like, if I find them, there they are. This is my small pumpkaboo. It's medium. This is my medium pumpkaboo. It's large. This is my large pumpkaboo. It's medium. This is my jumbo pumpkaboo. It's medium. And all of my 4 very differently sized Gorgeists are medium. So yeah, the fact that pumpkaboo sizes are forms, and each of those forms has its own size ranges, feels silly, and I really wish they had just unified the system for pumpkaboo sizes. Like, oh yeah, make it so that every pumpkaboo that is listed as extra small or small is a small pumpkaboo. Make it so every pumpkaboo listed as medium is a medium pumpkaboo. They could have done that. They chose not to. And now, in this game, pumpkaboos have effectively 5 size categories because Alpha is its own size category. And with the exception of Alpha, those size categories each have, what, 5 or 6 size categories of their own? You can have extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, so 5 size categories. So there's 4 size categories that have 5 size categories each, plus an extra size category, for a grand total of 21 available pumpkaboo sizes. I wonder how an extra large small pumpkaboo compares to an extra small medium pumpkaboo. Let's brave the lions, see if we find a shiny lion or a shiny lamp. There's also the barest of hopes for a shiny Chespin, but there's no Chespin at all. There's a bonus alpha lion, but thankfully the lions are sleepy at night. And no shiny lamp or Mawile. Mawile is another thing I need shiny from here, so hey. Bonus. Well, bonus check. It can only be a bonus Pokemon if I actually got the shiny. And let's do one last circuit of Centrico Plaza. Excuse me. Sneezing mid-sentence makes you sound weird. This I know. One last loop of Centrico Plaza, and then we will call this a stream. Because it's about that time.
So we are probably not getting a third shiny on this stream, but then again, we were not probably getting 2 shinies on the stream to begin with, and we already got 2. It was very unlikely for us to get 2. Even getting 1 isn't exactly guaranteed. And that is a completed circuit. Let's look at the alphas just one more time. Glaceon and Machamp. Don't need either one of those. So let's beat a quick retreat and call it a stream. That's going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all of that. And I will be back on Friday for some Ribbon Road. See you then, friends.